Welcome back to the Motivational Mike, the show where we dive into real stories of resilience, reinvention, and the power of purpose. This February, in honor of Heart Health Month, we're talking about something that touches millions of lives: heart disease, and more importantly, how we can prevent it. I'm honored to be joined by Hannah Drake Litman from the Heart Foundation, an organization founded in memory of Steven Cohen, a healthy 35-year-old whose sudden passing from a heart attack inspired a mission to save lives through awareness, early detection, and life-saving research. Today, we'll hear from Hannah's insights on how heart disease can affect anyone, what steps we can take to protect our hearts, and how the Heart Foundation is empowering individuals and communities to make a difference. This conversation is a reminder that taking care of your heart isn't just a health choice, it's a life choice. Please welcome Hannah to the show. Hey Hannah, how are you?
Hi, Jacob. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Hannah Drake Litman, and I am the digital content manager for the Heart Foundation. The Heart Foundation, actually, this year we are celebrating our 30th year as a nonprofit, and we advocate for the education, early detection, and prevention of heart disease.
Yeah, that's great. So, would you want to tell me a little bit about how the Heart Foundation was founded?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're located in Southern California. And in 1995, a 35-year-old man named Steve Cohen, who I mean, you're quite young, Jacob, but I'm 36. So this is like, something happening to one of my friends or even to me, right? He was 35 years old, married, two young daughters, and he was just out playing his weekly game of pickup basketball, and he suddenly died of a heart attack. So if that were to happen to me or one of my friends, obviously completely shocked and blew away his friends, his family, his community. And no one could believe that it happened to him. He was seemingly healthy, seemingly fit, like heart disease. This is not the type of person that you picture dying from heart disease. So, in order to spread awareness of the prevalence of heart disease and the importance of heart health, his friends and family, and basically just this kind of group of 30 somethings, created the Heart Foundation to help save more lives. And they partnered up with Cedars-Sinai, which is one of the leading heart disease research institutions in the country. And so we've been funding research at Cedars-Sinai, spreading awareness, and saving lives from the leading cause of death in the United States.
Stephen was young and healthy. I mean, you said it yourself.
Mhm.
What does his story teach us about heart disease and how it can affect the people that we least expect?
That's such a good question. I think the most important thing that it teaches us is that heart disease does not look the same on everyone, right? Like when you think of the term heart disease, I think most people think of the clogging of the arteries, right? Which is coronary artery disease. It's definitely the most common form of heart disease in the United States. But that clogging of arteries is not the only form of heart disease, number one, and is not only attributed to one type of person. So when you think of the clogging of the arteries, you might picture somebody who is overweight, maybe older, maybe lives a sedentary lifestyle. But those are not the only contributing factors to that type of condition. Things like environmental factors, things like genetics, all of these things like stress and quality of sleep, all of these things play into our overall heart health. And that's just looking at coronary artery disease. There are other types of heart disease. The term heart disease is a blanket term. It can also mean heart valve disease. It can also mean congenital heart defects, which are the most common type of birth defect amongst American born children. We can talk about arrhythmias, which are irregularities in heart rhythm. It can also mean heart failure. There are many different types of heart disease that fall underneath the heart disease umbrella. But I think that Steve's story really teaches us that heart disease does not mean any one thing, and it does not look any one way.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important to move beyond the idea that heart disease only impacts older people. I mean, because
Right.
healthy people that we know, genetics, I mean, it
Hmm.
can happen at any time, and it's scary.
Absolutely.
So looking back at Steven's story, I mean, were there any early detection or warning signs that maybe you could have pointed out?
So what's interesting is one of our founders and our chairman, Mark Litman, was best friends with Steve. And Mark knew that he had a family history of heart disease. And this is like so silly because I don't know any other two friends that have ever done this, but the two of them went and got their physicals together. Like it was like this thing that they were like encouraging each other to go do not long before Steve's heart attack. But Steve was not aware that he had a genetic component that could have put him at risk for heart disease, and Mark was. So Mark took this extra step of doing a stress test in addition to just a normal physical. He took that extra step because he knew he had this genetic component, where Steve did not know that and opted out of the stress test. So this has always been a question where it's like, if he would have taken that stress test, maybe something would have shown up, maybe not. But it's so interesting that he did have that physical ahead of time, but then didn't have the additional knowledge to maybe take into consideration. And then now looking back, some of his friends and family members have, it's like hindsight is 2020, right? You look back and you think, gosh, what did we miss? Like, how could we have been more aware? What are there signs that we could have paid closer attention to? And there have been, some mentions of maybe he was feeling some fatigue. He wasn't necessarily feeling 100%, but certainly not enough to feel as though he needed to go to the emergency room, or maybe think, is there a possibility I'm going to have a fatal heart attack today? Especially not at 35 years old. Maybe if he was much older, his train of thought would have gone that way. But at 35, like, I'm sorry, we all wake up some days and we don't feel like we did when we were 20 or 22. You as you get older, you have aches and pains, you maybe get not feeling as well on certain days, so it's very understandable that he would have overlooked those symptoms.
I mean, the heart is literally the most important organ in the body. How can individuals, especially younger adults, just be more cautious and proactive about screening and really understanding the risk of heart disease?
Such a good question. It's certainly the hardest working muscle in your body. Think about it. Like, think about flexing and relaxing a muscle, right? Like, and then think about the fact that your heart never gets to stop doing that. It does it all day, all night, 24/7. So I really love that you just mentioned that, the importance of your heart. Um, some of the things that people can do, especially younger individuals, to really take living preventatively very seriously, I would say, learn about your family health history if you are able to. It is so important. Your genetic components are so important. Getting a physical every single year, and then just implementing those heart healthy lifestyle aspects as early as possible, because the work that you're doing now when you are a teenager or even younger or in your 20s, you're setting yourself up for your health in your future, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, 60s, 70s. And if you develop those healthy habits early on, not only are you protecting your body as a whole and your heart, you're preventing the damage, because once damage is done, even though you can quote unquote reverse it sometimes, there's still damage that was done, right? It's so much harder to come back from. But you're also making it easier on yourself in the future. It won't be so hard to implement those heart healthy habits. Getting at least 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity exercise, eating a diet that is rich in plants, whole grains, lean proteins. And that doesn't necessarily have to be expensive either, right? Like staple pantries and frozen fruits and vegetables, as long as there aren't a lot of added ingredients to them, those things can be cost effective. They can be available to most people. Getting adequate sleep, limiting screen time, getting outside, spending time with your community, friends, family, um, reducing the amount of stress, right? We live in a very high stress world right now. Finding ways to cope with that. Mental health is such a huge aspect of holistic and heart health. So all of those things, implementing all of those heart healthy habits early on, you're just setting yourself up for success in the future.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense in
Yeah.
hindsight. I mean, as a teenager, you eat healthy, you get a lot of exercise, you're
Mhm.
doing the things you're supposed to be doing, and it'll help you out in the future. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, how has the foundation used Steve's legacy to support innovative research aimed at preventing sudden cardiac arrest or sudden cardiac events?
Yeah, for sure. So I think one of the greatest things about our mission as a whole, and Steve's story is that Steve was just a normal guy, right? A lot of times we see attention drawn to causes because there's a celebrity attached or somebody who is of great notoriety attached. Steve was just a normal dude. It's so funny. Like I see a picture of him and I'm like, I feel like this is a guy that I would see on TikTok these days, right? Like just a normal guy. So his impact just shows us that it can happen to anyone at any time. If you are not aware, if you are not living preventatively, if you are kind of like ignorantly in the dark and feeling like you're untouchable, no one is untouchable, right? And so Steve's story really has been able to catapult us into this, into our mission and into people's homes to make them realize like, oh, this can happen to him, this can happen to me, this can happen to this guy who was just like a normal hardworking dad in his 30s who, if he wore a tank top you could see the muscles in his arms. He was not an unhealthy looking dude. And so the fact that it can happen to him has really opened up the conversation that it can happen to anybody. And so to then go off of your question, we're really proud to take Steve's story and take the way that he lived his life with such vibrance and the love that he had for his family and friends and community, and help protect other people's families and friends and community by supporting this research at Cedars-Sinai. It's under the direction of world-renowned cardiologist Dr. P.K. Shaw. He's an absolute rock star in the cardiology community. And some of the research that we are supporting has helped develop so many drugs that are now household names, that have helped so many people. But then also we've helped with supporting research that Dr. Shaw is developing with his team that is leading to the development of two different vaccines. One that will hopefully prevent plaque buildup, and then one that will reverse plaque buildup. And they are both in human clinical trials now. They're FDA approved clinical trials. And that type of stuff takes a lot longer than you would
Yeah.
think. But it's all been in the works, and the
Wow.
findings are really amazing, really promising.
Yeah, I had no idea about that. That's a breakthrough. I mean,
Totally,
it's stuff that you
totally.
always talk about, that you dream about, like finding a cure for cancer, finding a way to
Come on.
reverse heart disease. So, I mean, that's huge.
Right. And heart disease, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, it's the leading cause of death in the country for both men and women. That's another thing, is that so many people aren't surprised to hear that it's the leading cause of death for men. But just over 50% of women even recognize heart disease as a risk at all. And under 50% of Americans as a whole realize that it's the leading cause of death. So it's so prevalent, but nearly 80% of the cases can be prevented through lifestyle changes. So it's it's both prevalent and preventable as long as we just have the knowledge surrounding it and take preventative measures.
Yeah, I mean, that was literally about, you answered my next question. I was just going to ask about the breakthroughs that we've seen in the industry and how we can treat healthier individuals who might be suffering from heart disease. So,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you for that.
of course.
If Steven's story resonates with someone watching, what
Mhm.
is the first step that you take them to encourage, or that you'd encourage them to take?
Um, the first thing across the board, regardless of someone's age, um, is for sure to find out your family history. Um, I can give you I'll use my husband as an example. My husband is in his 30s. He is the kind of guy that gets comments all the time about like, dude, how, like, what do you do for your workouts? Like, you're jacked. Like, he's this kind of dude, right? He's very muscular, very in shape. Um, has a family history of high cholesterol. No matter what he does, no matter what he eats, no matter what he cuts out, his cholesterol levels are high. He has to be on a low dose of a statin. It is something that he has to be on. The only reason that he has any of that knowledge or even knew to look for that is because he was aware of his family history. So, family history, number one, if you are able to find that information, that's great. And then number two is to just get a jumping off point with a physical. Understand your numbers as far as your cholesterol and your blood pressure. If you do have a family health history, ask about an LP little a test. It's a lipoprotein A test, which is another type of cholesterol in addition to your LDL and HDL, which are just included in your lipid panel. A lipoprotein A test is not included. It's an additional test, but it can be a major genetic marker for inherited heart disease. So that's definitely something to ask about if you have a family history. And then just taking a look at your lifestyle choices, and don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions, right? I think that's another thing. It's like we get in the room with the doctor, we go through the motions of the physical, and then we leave and we're like, okay, now what? But if you go into that appointment prepared, bring a list. Oh my gosh, I'm like a pen and paper kind of girl. I will bring bullet points so that I can be sure I don't want to forget, right? Let me ask these questions. What can I do in real time in the next 90 days? What are some changes that you think I should make, I need to make? Are there any issues that could be helped with medication or lifestyle change? Come up with a game plan. Talk to your physician about those types of things because I think that knowledge is power with all of this, right? The more that we know about ourselves, our family, and then the more steps that we can outline for ourselves in the future, we're just setting ourselves up for success.
So this incident, correct me if I'm wrong, that was in 1995 with Steven,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and the foundation was founded just after that,
1996. Yeah.
1996.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a long time ago.
I know.
Uh,
30 years. It's
yeah,
crazy.
he would have been 65 now.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think about how healthy people can, I mean, literally in the blink of an eye. It's with everything too. It's with all diagnoses. And it's just important to
Mm-hmm.
really, like you said earlier, realize you're not invincible and you gotta treat yourself and you gotta care for yourself and just gotta
Totally.
be aware of your surroundings.
And I'm someone, Jacob, who absolutely hates going to the doctor, going to the dentist, going like I all like it gives me total I'm afraid of it. I hate it. I don't like it. I get anxiety just like everybody else with it, right? But avoiding it is just prolonging that fear and just delaying and possibly causing damage. So these are things that we have to do. And if anything, I do kind of the trick that I kind of do for myself now after being involved with the Heart Foundation so long is I don't do it for myself. I don't do it for, I'm not going to the doctor for me. I go to the doctor so that I don't have to like have my husband Riley call my mom to say something happened with Hannah. I go to the doctor so that I don't have my siblings have to like plan my funeral. I'm thinking about that type of stuff. It's like, okay, I'm doing it for my loved ones. Like I can be uncomfortable in this room for the next hour or whatever and have the uncomfortable conversations if that means that I'm preventing them from experiencing pain in the future.
That's a really selfless thing to think about. I mean, you're not doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your family
Right.
because you know how hard it would be for them if
Right.
you weren't there. So I think that's a really cool aspect of that about you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it just helps. It's just a little bit of a perspective shift that helps me through it.
Yeah, and I feel like that can help a lot of people through a lot of things. I mean, just
Yeah.
realizing that you're not the only one affected. There are people out there that care about you, that love you, that want to be there for you, and they probably want you, they might even want you here more than you want yourself.
Right. I think it's really easy to put ourselves last, right? Put ourselves on the back burner and like it's almost like a coping mechanism where you kind of don't worry about yourself. Let me worry about all this other stuff is so much more important. This is more important. My kids are more important. My house is more important. My job is more important. My friends are more important. And yeah, all those things are incredibly important, but none of them matter if you are not there.
Exactly.
And all of them will be neglected if you are faced with a major health crisis. So you really do have to be able, I mean, we've all heard the saying, like, you can't pour from an empty cup or whatever that is. Like, you do have to take those steps to protect yourself and to prioritize your health. I mean, Jacob, your story alone, right? Like you witnessed firsthand the ripple effects of a medical event and how it can affect every single person in your world, every single aspect of your life. And I'm sure it still does, right? And
Yeah.
you're able to be here as like a functioning, vibrant person who can speak for yourself versus like somebody who drops dead of a cardiac event. Then what? It's um a really complicated thing to think about for sure.
It's very serious. I mean,
Yeah,
even just being on this interview, I've learned a lot.
I'm
So,
glad.
yeah, no, it is a lot to learn about and it's very important. But how can people honor Steve's legacy by supporting the Heart Foundation's mission?
Absolutely. So, number one is that honoring Steve's legacy is living a heart healthy life. You can honor his legacy for free. Go out and get your blood work done. Find out about your family history. Take the steps that you need to take to ensure that your heart is protected. That's an amazing way to honor Steve. If you would like to honor someone in your life who's been affected by heart disease, if you want to help support the Heart Foundation, you can create fundraisers in honor of someone or in memory of someone, and you can do that at our website, theheartfoundation.org. You can also reach out to us about volunteer opportunities. And then another way too is just by following us on our social platforms. All of our handles are just at the Heart Foundation, and sharing our posts, tagging people in our posts, spreading awareness of heart disease. Because by doing that, you're helping save lives, and you're helping Steve's death not be in vain, right? We're helping his memory live on. We're helping spread awareness, and we're saving the lives of people around the world,
And as hard as it is, Steve's not here with us today.
right?
We can learn from this. I mean, it happened. Get over it. Things happen. Bad things happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important to learn from them. Very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with you for sure. I think the last thing that I would like to add is on all of our Heart Foundation shirts, we have what we call our mantra, which is you're never too young and it's never too late. Because we believe that while it's scary, right? Heart disease can affect you at any time. You're never too young or too old to be affected. At the same time, you're never too young or too old to start living a more heart healthy lifestyle. You can make that decision to do that at any given moment in your life. Obviously, if the younger you do it, the longer you can enjoy the positive effects of that heart healthy lifestyle. But it's always an option to choose the more heart healthy route. So our mantra is you're never too young and it's never too late. And we'd love for all of your listeners to support us by just following us on social media, and feel free to visit theheartfoundation.org to learn more about the things that we do, any upcoming fundraising events, and just about heart disease in general.
And I remember, I think it was in elementary school. I'm sure you're familiar with the jump rope for heart.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we used to do that all the time. I downloaded this app on my phone and I used to try and win prizes. It was fun.
Yeah,
At least for
totally.
at least for a kid in elementary school.
Yeah, I think it was jump rope for heart
Yeah.
taught me how to double dutch like back in the day. I don't
Uh,
think I can do that now, but I think that was like the thing that taught me how to double dutch was jump rope for heart.
yeah, I definitely learned a lot of my jump rope skills from there. So,
I love that.
yeah, it's good to think about. Well, I'd like to ask you a question. Now,
Yes.
on a more personal note, what
Yeah.
message would you like to give to the viewers listening? Aside from your work and working for the Heart Foundation as a person, what message would you like to give to everyone right now?
Ooh, that's such a big question. Um, I think that it just goes back to what you and I were talking about earlier, is that sometimes it's not about you. right? Yeah. We are all so focused on our day to day, and maybe we put ourselves on the back burner because of things, because it's uncomfortable, right? We do that to make ourselves more comfortable. But to that, I would just say consider everything else in your life. Consider the impact that you have on everything else in your life, and use that thought to prioritize yourself in certain ways. So I guess really what I'm saying, it's not about you. It's like change the shift in your perspective in order to do the uncomfortable things.
Yeah, no, that's a great message. You
Yeah,
gotta live your life for you, obviously, but
sure.
know that you're not the only one
Sure.
impacted by your own life.
Yeah. Sorry, you caught me off guard with that question, and then it took me a second to like really
No,
find what
yeah,
I'm trying to say. But no, just that yeah, we all have to do things that we don't like to do. We all have to go to appointments that scare us. We all have to have conversations that are uncomfortable. You can do it. Shift your perspective on it. It will benefit you in the long run. And yeah, I think that it's okay to have those uncomfortable moments, and it's okay to feel like you're dreading something that you don't want to do, but like you can do it.
going
Shift
back,
your perspective, find the motivation in there to do it.
yeah, going back to what you were saying about the beginning of the question, I really don't plan on asking these questions at the end.
Yeah,
I like at the end, no matter the occupation, no matter what you do for work, I
yeah,
just I like people to connect. I think it's probably the most wholesome thing that we can do. So
I would agree
I
with you.
my past few interviews, I'm gonna keep on doing it. Every person that joins on, just share your message. I mean, we all have valuable things to say, and the world needs to hear it.
Totally.
Yeah,
Jacob, can I ask you, what state are you located in?
I'm in Pennsylvania,
What part of Pennsylvania?
just outside of Philadelphia.
Okay. I grew up in Northeast Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, wait a minute, what part of Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I'm
Got it.
gotcha. Yeah,
That's so
it's
great.
pretty close.
If you're ever in California, if you're ever on the West
California.
Coast,
My mom's going there. My mom's flying out to LA tomorrow
for
for
what?
work. For work. I
Well,
was
that's
I was in LA once or twice. It was once, I think it was once. It was a
it's a
pretty cool
really big
experience.
city. It's so spread out. So even if you're here for, I mean, I've lived here for God since 2012, so 13 years. And there are still parts of Los Angeles I have not seen. It's so spread out.
My favorite thing to do when traveling to different cities, and my family doesn't like doing this. My dad likes it, but
Yeah,
I like going to different stadiums, NBA games, NFL games. I mean, if I'm in a different city
I
and
love
there's a
it.
game there, I'm always looking.
Are you a baseball fan?
I'm not as much a baseball fan as I am other sports, but I do
Mhm.
pay attention. So actually, what we want to do is I want to become a sports broadcaster. So that's part of the reason I started this podcast.
Jacob. Okay, this is very cool. So I actually just got my master's in journalism from
Oh, that's
USC.
what I'm going to Penn State for. Oh
Okay.
wow, it's funny.
So yeah, so I just did that. And okay, you're going to Penn State. That's so exciting. Um, First of all, incredible school. Penn State is, and what a cool campus. Oh my gosh, I
Oh,
love
it's great. Yeah.
that. But yeah, I have a few friends who work in sports journalism. So if you ever have any questions, or if you ever just need someone to bounce things off of, please reach out
Yeah.
to me. Um, but yeah, I just graduated like it less than a year ago.
Wow.
So
Where did you go?
USC.
Oh, right. Did you already say that?
I did, but it's okay.
Yeah,
We
I
were
think you
talking
already
over each
said. Yeah.
other. Don't worry about it.
No, that's yeah, good stuff. Do you know what you
Yeah,
want to do with that?
that's a really good question. So my specific focus was in arts and culture. So actually, you're inspiring me, right? I've already produced 2 episodes of a podcast, and then I did some freelance work in audio production as well. Um, but a lot of my work has been LA focused because in the past year and a half, we've just had, I'm not sure how aware you are, but everything from the wildfires
Oh, yeah.
to politically to just there's been a lot that happens in Los Angeles, right? So a lot of my work has been focused on local things, but it's been everything from writing to audio production. I produced a show last year, so it just is a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Now, the wildfires, we really haven't had too bad. The one year, I think it was 2023. I
Hmm.
think came from Canada, where the skies were like
It's
fully
crazy.
orange.
It's
But yeah,
crazy. Oh my
it's
gosh. My
ridiculous.
and I did not grow up out here. My husband did though, but I grew up where tornado warnings were not uncommon. Like
Yeah.
that to me is like, okay, you go in your basement or you take cover or whatever. But the thought of looking up and seeing a mountain on fire and then having to leave your home is the scariest thing in the world to me. But he's just kind of like, yeah, this is normal. This is what we
Yeah,
do. We evacuate now.
that's crazy.
I know.
It was 2 year. Why? It was not 2 years ago. It was 5 years ago now. Almost 5 years ago, there was a massive tornado that swept in through our town and
Mm.
southeast Pennsylvania. I mean, you're not
Wow.
expecting a tornado, and it just came out of nowhere. I mean, it
Wow.
destroyed. It was absolutely crazy.
Devastating.
Yeah, but you get over it. You rebuild.
Totally.
It's what life's all about.
Totally. I'm so excited for you, Jacob. You're going to crush Penn State, first of all. And the work that you're doing with this podcast is truly fantastic. Um, don't stop. Keep going. And I cannot wait to see the disruptions that you make in the sports broadcasting world. It's so awesome.
I want to be a sports broadcaster, but at the same time, I want to be an advocate for just cancer and mental health and everything in general. So, I'm keeping my options open, but I definitely do want to go into sports broadcasting. I do it for my high school, so
That's great.
yeah, well,
Awesome.
thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you for having me on. And if you have any questions about anything or need any more information or whatever, please feel free to reach out to me. You have my email address. And
Yeah,
again, I'd love to help you in any way with your future professional career. I'm very excited for you.
thank you so much. Yeah, I really
You're welcome.
appreciate it. We'll definitely be in touch.
Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate you. Take care.
Hi, you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Hannah Drake Litman for joining us today and sharing her insights on heart health and the vital work of the Heart Foundation. Steven Cohen's story is a powerful reminder that life can change in an instant, and that heart disease doesn't just affect older adults, it can affect anyone at any age. But his legacy also reminds us that knowledge is power. Awareness, early detection, and proactive steps can literally save lives. This Heart Health Month, let's honor that legacy by taking our heart health seriously, getting screened, listening to our bodies, making small but meaningful lifestyle changes, and supporting the people we care about and doing the same thing. Every conversation, every action, every choice matters. If there's one thing I hope that you take away from this episode, it's that your heart is not just an organ. It's the center of your life, your dreams, and the moments you share with the people who matter most. Treat it with care, be proactive, and encourage those around you to do the same. Thank you for listening, and see you next time on The Motivational Mic. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. Together, we can spread positivity and make a difference. Join me next time for more incredible stories and insights. Until then, stay motivated and keep pushing forward. Thank you for listening, and see you next time on The Motivational Mic.